Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the biggest problems that I have with the UFC. And I feel like with these suggestions, the UFC as a product would be so much better. But before I get into the video, if you guys can, please hit the subscribe button. Let's shoot for 10 likes on this video. Anyways, let's get into it. So one of the few issues I currently have with the UFC is the way that they promote slash announce fights. If we were to compare this to boxing, right, for an example, boxing does the best job with this type of stuff. Well, just recently with the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney event, right? They both went against separate opponents. But when we saw the, promo video that Ring Magazine just announced, it looks like a full-on movie that we're watching, right? And we compare this to the UFC. What we'll see get announced with a big fight, Ilya Tapiria and Charles Oliveira is through an IG live that Dana White looks like he's forcing, you know what I mean? Just so he can get the job done and go along with his day. And I feel like if they were to spend quite a bit of time, actually trying to, make a semi or a full on production to promote this fight, it would be a lot bigger. And an example of this, right? Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo back in the day. Especially back in the day, advertisements like a fight for a Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo made UFC fans excited to see, a very big fight, which actually turned out to be one of the biggest fights in UFC history. And I feel like if they were to keep spending more time and effort into productions like the ad I just showed you, into an Ilya versus Charles Oliveira fight, it makes it more exciting for UFC fans to watch this upcoming fight. And this is what goes into my next point. The past couple of years, I feel like the UFC has been coasting with their product, just getting by. They're making enough money so they don't have to spend too much time, with efforts of making, great quality cards. And a good example of this is a fight night that's actually happening tomorrow, an Aaron Blanchfield main event. I don't want to spend too much time on this point because I feel like a lot of MMA fans have been talking about this, but the UFC Apex cards essentially just need to go, right? Years ago, we would have fight nights that would be an arena. And whenever there was a big, knockdown, knockout, a big shot that lands, there would be a crowd that would pop and cheer, right? It would add on to that extra sound effect, essentially. And COVID happened, which is why the Apex was created so they could keep on going with the fights throughout the pandemic. But we're in 2025. All right, we're in 2025. What's the point of having the Apex when we've seen the NBA, NFL have consistent games in venues. You know what I mean? So with that, with the Apex cards, it's just a way to cut corners. It's a way for them to save money and can throw low quality fight cards, slap it onto there, and they essentially just get away with it. And that's the big problem of what's been happening in the UFC within the last few years. They're just cutting corners, and people are seeing it, and a lot of them are kind of done with the bullshit. Lastly, what I want to mention about this UFC video is UFC champions defending their belt at their hometown. I don't remember the last time a UFC champion has done that, being in their hometown, defending their belt. And if they've done it, let's say in the last, let's say, year or two, they need to do it more frequently. This goes along more with storylines, right? And just imagine, right, the upcoming fight that's happening with Tricky Duplessis and Chimaev. Instead of being it in Chicago, why not in South Africa, right? Tricky Duplessis, let's say he knocks out Chimaev somehow. That pop that happens within that arena adds on to not only just storylines, but it just brings that spark back within, what makes the UFC exciting. And so I feel like if they were to start implementing UFC champions defending their belt at their hometowns, it adds on to a lot of storylines. It adds on to, you know, a big moment that could happen within their UFC careers that they could play, after they are done fighting. It's just moments like that I feel like has kind of been forgotten, and that needs to get brought back more if I were the UFC. If you guys like this video, want more videos like this, please hit the like, comment, and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.